So welcome everybody. I am Arim Banwal and I am the Google Android Strategy and Facilitator from DSC KGC. And my job is to make you learn Android using Kotlin. Okay. So uh, for people who don't know about, we actually have our season 1 last week where we discussed what this stratagem is all about, the perks and the how to proceed with the units and paths. Okay. So we will review this. Okay, so the perks. What are the perks? Number one, you will learn Android using Kotlin. Number two, you will get there are two tracks here. Okay, so number one is the new to programming track, which guide you through the basic mumbo jumbo of Android Studio and Kotlin, the basic syntax of Kotlin. And there is this second track where you will make some complex apps using using APIs. You will learn how to use internet. You will also learn how to use a database library known as Room. Okay, so and third thing is you will have a Google developer profile, and if you complete the units and tracks, you will get badges. Okay, so you can showcase them on LinkedIn or somewhere. Number four, you can also get a chance to get your app featured on Google social media handles. Just like if you make an app, just post this on some social media like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and use hashtag Android Strategems. Okay, so wait. So in this season, we will learn how to make a dice roller app and also learn class and objects. Okay, the basic OOPS concepts. And so let's get started. So the prerequisites are you need a computer and headphone, an internet connection, and an USB Android device and a USB cable, which is optional, but I will recommend using an physical Android device instead of the emulator if you have like 8 GB or 4 GB of RAM. Okay, so let's get started with the Kotlin playground. Okay, first, some people ask me that they can't connect their the phone to their Android Studio. So this I will show you how to do that. So this is an app known as Visor. So what does Visor does? Visor just cast my phone screen on the laptop. You can see what I'm doing. So I'm just scrolling it. So how to connect your phone to your Android Studio? So you will first go to your settings, click on About Phone. You will see if you come down, you will see the Android version. If you click on okay, so wait. Okay, so if you click on your MIUI version, or if you have on some other phone, if you click on your OS version 5 or 6 times, you will get the developer options. Okay, now if you go search here developer options, so I'm not getting it here somehow. So additional settings, developer options. So you have to first click on your developer options, then you will go down, turn USB debugging on and install via USB. So you have to just click turn on these things so you can install your apps on your physical device. So that's all. So this is Visor. I won't use an emulator. I will just install my apps on my phone and I will just show you. Okay, so am I speaking too fast? Anyone
No,
here?
it's okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
okay, I will just start the Kotlin playground to show you how the class and objects in works in Kotlin works. So okay, I will just clear this. Okay, so you will be thinking what class and objects are. See, the OOPS concept is storing your collection of data in a systemized way. I will show you. It's difficult explaining, so I will just write it down. So to write a class, you will use the class keyword like class dice. A class can have some variables, or can also contain some functions or some methods. I will just declare two variables here, like val sites, which is of int type, and it like the dice has 6 sides, so I will just use 6 here. Okay, so like what does a dice do? When you roll a dice, there is a chance of getting a side from 1 to 6. Okay, so like you can also specify ranges in Kotlin like this. Like okay, I will first write a function here, fun roll dice, and it will return something like it will contain a variable. Okay, like val random sides equals 1 6. So what this 1 dot or 6 signifies, like it's a range, like the random sides contain all the numbers between integer numbers between 1 to 6. So okay, so we can type again. Okay, so if you want to return if you want to return something random, you will use random sides or random. Okay, so what does this random function does? It will return a value between 1 to 6, including 1 and 6. So I will show you. So for classes, we have to initialize an object first. So we will initialize it there. Val d1, like sorry, dice 1, like we are just equals dice. Okay, so if you want to like print something here, so like let's just roll the dice. Okay, so dice 1 will val sides equals dice 1 dot dice. We'll just print this. I will show you what it does. Okay, so we have some problem here. Okay, so we don't need this here. So it should work right now. Oh, acha, I get it. We are returning something, so we have to signify the type of the function. Sides. Acha, sorry. Type expected. Wait a minute. There's some problem here. It should work right. See, you can see like the dice rolls once. Okay, and if I just run it again, you may get another number like 5 2 5. Like it will print all the numbers between integers between 1 and 6. So okay, let's I will just tell what's happening. So we first initialize create a class of dice. Okay, so dice contains two things. Number one is a variable, and number two is a function. So we have to first create an instance of that object. So how we will do that? We'll write var dice1 equals dice. So what does the so it will take all the functions variables in the class object. Okay, so like if I take dice1, I can use the roll dice function on it and take the output in a variable and print it. Okay, so like a function, a class can also take some parameters. Like I will it will take like x of sides of it. Okay, so like the class will take a parameter which is of side of int type. Okay, so how we'll do that then? So we will go here, we'll declare a val side of int type again, and there's something called the init class here, like init body here, like it's a constructor. Okay, so I will so side equals side. So like you need a parameter here, so I will just pass a parameter like 6. it should work. Okay, what's the problem here? Side equals such a side, sorry, this is just a small typo. Yeah, so you get a 2. Okay, let me show you another example of class and object. So I will just clear this. Okay, I will just comment this out. So let's define a class person. The class person takes 2 parameters. Number one is a name. Second one is a age in type. Okay, so we'll, okay, wait a minute. Just distinguish between the parameters and the variables. I just write a hyphen underscore there. Val name of type string, val age of type int. So the init thing is a constructor. So I will just initialize everything here. Age equals age and name equals name. So what we can do here, like we can go here and initialize a person. Okay, so people who are joining here, we are just getting started with the OOPS concept in Kotlin. So like I have defined a class person here, which takes 2 parameters. Number one is a name and the second one is a age. And I have taken 2 variables to initialize them, and in the init thing is a constructor. So I will just it's used to initialize things. So like I will show you, like I will just create 2 instances of this class. Val p1 like person1 equals person, and it will take 2 parameters. Number one is a name like Aryan, the age is 14. I'm just not that old. Val p2 plus person, like it will take a name like Devadri, I guess. Age 70, no 07. So if I like, I can just use the things there. Okay, so like I can check the p1 like the person's name, age, and if I use more parameters here, I can also check them too. So if I like if I have to print like the age of mine p1, so I will print p1 dot age. So it should work. Okay, it's expecting a comma there. Okay, yeah. Alright. Okay, 49. Like this is showing my age of p1. So p1 is a person which has a name of Aryan and an age of 49. Okay, so class is like a blueprint, and like you can collect some data in a systemized way. The OOPS concept are the backbone of any development, be it web development or Android. So I think this is everything for like the OOPS concept you need for the Android jam. Okay, so I will just show how you can also use functions like fun age in days. Okay, so we'll return something like the age, like a year has 365 days if you don't count leap years. Okay, so we are returning a type of int, so we will just signify it here, otherwise it won't work. And we will call it here, like instead of using print, we print, sorry, p1 dot, what's the function's name? Age in days. So oh yeah, I need a function body, sorry. Things should work like, yeah. So 47 into 365 is 1785. I'm not good at math, so use a calculator if you don't believe. So yeah, this is any doubts? Yeah, you can leave as it without mentioning data type. Yeah, I can also do that. So int range, we can, like you can signify the data type if you can, but it will work even without that. So like if you are using int range, so it will work. So, anybody has any doubts till now? You can just, anybody, like you, if you are not understanding how the function things work, or like how is the init body is working, like what is constructor, like anyone has been problem? Do we write the same code in Android Studio? Yes, you can. You can like you have a calculator, like you have an age calculator where you can just write the years of your age and it will return the age in days. Okay, so you can use it there. So this is the OOPS concept in Kotlin. Okay, so let's dive in first. So I will just start the presentation once again. So like in this, so we will do the unit 1 pathway 4 where we will make a dice roller app. So what does this app will do? You will click roll and it will just show you an image of a random dice, like in real life. If you just roll a dice, it will give you any sets between 1 to 6. So it will work like that. So if you finish this, you will get a new batch. So I will just ignore these things. So okay, I will just open my Android Studio right now. If anyone is wondering why my desktop is looking so weird, I'm using Linux Mint. So I can also use Windows, but Windows is a little heavy compared to Linux. Okay, so like if you are using Android Studio, I will recommend using a Linux-based distro like Linux Mint or Ubuntu. Wait a minute, someone is joining. Okay, so we will make this dice roller app. Okay, so like I will just open this. Like Linux it's quite less RAM eater than Windows. Okay, so like Windows is a heavy software, it's a heavy OS. If you use Android Studio on top of that, it may cause RAM issues, like if you have an 8 GB or a 4 GB RAM laptop. Okay, so I will start from scratch here. So we will.
You stopped sharing the screen. I guess he hung. Don't leave the meet, just stay in the chat. I'll contact him.
Sorry, I just got disconnected for some unknown reasons. So just start that again. So like this is the basic app you will open. I will just clear these things also.
You are not presenting the screen, Aryan.
Oh, okay, sorry. Wait. Is the screen visible now?
Yeah, visible.
Okay. So this is the basic mumbo jumbo of Android Studio. Like I will show you what is. It's like this is the manifest file. You can, like if your app is using like data from the internet or some like a weather app, you will need to fetch some data for your location weather. So you can signify the permission here, like uses permission of internet. So it will give you to your app permission to use the internet facility of your phone. Like this is mandatory. Okay, so for the dice roller app, you don't need that. In the Gradle scripts, there are two build Gradle file. Okay, so what does this build Gradle file does? Like it has some Google repositories for the Android thing. Like if you if you build your app for the app for the first time, it will download some resources from the internet and build the app. Okay, like predefined. In the app build gradle module, there's there's something called the dependencies thing. Like everything is not provided with the Android Studio. Like if you want to use recycler views or some material design, you have to implement that. Here you have to paste the dependency here and click on sync now, and it will just download the files from the internet. Okay, so like it's like the Bootstrap thing, or the Bootstrap Tailwind CSS or Skeleton CSS from like in the web development fields. Like if you have to use that, you will write the CDN at the top of your HTML file, and you will use that. So let's get started with the Data Explorer app. So I will Android Basics, add a button to an app. So create a, like we have done this already, classes and object instances in Kotlin. So we'll just move on to the next code lab. That is create an interactive dice roller app. So okay, so like yeah, we have the same name. We have selected Kotlin already. So okay, so like what is an activity? Like in the previous app, if you have made that, like it's the birthday card app. Like it's just have one page and it contains two text and an image. Okay, so like what activities? Like you have multiple pages app, so you need different activity for each single page. So like if you have a gallery type app, so if you will have a main gallery activity where you can have all the images present in a gallery app. Next you have the viewer activity. Like if you click on each image, like if you click on this image, it will show you a preview of your image, which you can name as viewer activity. And if you want to edit this image, you can have another activity for like which is we can name it edit activity. So for like multi-screen apps, you need different activities. Okay, so let's so we have first opened the main activity Creatify. So we have opened it here already. So okay, so this is the starting page for the starting files, lines of code for the main activity.creatify. So we don't need that this side. So okay, so we have to first put a button here. So I will just put that there. Like I will go to my design tab. Okay, I've already done that. I'll just delete it. Okay, so I will drag this button and just like drop it here. Okay, so this is a constraint layout. So you have to provide constraint to the views there. Otherwise, it will jump to 0 to 0 0 or like here. So I will just give it a constraint. I will attach the top part of this to here and here to the edge of the screen. So and I will move it back to here. Right. So this is, and I will give it just some space. So yeah, this is how you attach a button. So what we have to do next? Let's see. We have to make the button interactive. Like if you click on the button, something happens. So I will just write the code there. Like you can go here and write let in bar button, which is of type button. Like what happens here? Like you are declaring a, oh, I have already wrote that. Yes. So anybody have any doubts or something? If you want to ask anything. Yes or no? So what happens here? Like we have dropped a button for now. So to make the button interactive, we have to first give it an ID. Let me see this. Yeah, it already has an ID of button. So I will just initialize it. Like I declared a variable of button which is of type button, and you can see that it has already imported it. Okay, so like I will write button equals find view by ID. This will find the thing we are looking for. Like we have already give it an ID, and we will just write button. So if you go here, it's like you can see that you already like have given an ID here, so you can just reassign it. So let's make it clickable. So go to 30.35. We'll add a on click listener here. Set on click listener. Okay, so okay, wait a minute. Let's see what they have done there. Next we have we have to add an on set on click listener. Okay, so we will just add that, and we have to create a toast. So okay, so we will just create a toast. So what is a toast? Toast is like a pop-up when you click an app, click a button or something. Wait, let me show you. While toast, which is a type toast, it's already imported in here. So how to create a toast? Toast dot make text. We'll pass the context. We'll pass like the toast must have some message, okay, to make the editor aware of something. So like button click, and we can also signify the time it will be present, and we'll just okay. So here we create a toast and we'll just show it when it is clicked. Toast dot show. So okay, I will just connect my phone here. Wait a minute, I will run it on my phone. So you can see that the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 is available as a physical device. So I will just wait. Oh, let me open the advisor. So you error connecting to Android device. Okay, wait. Let me restart advisor once again. Having some problem. But if it doesn't, then I will just use my emulator here. So, Visor was unable to access the Android device. So I will just use the emulator, okay, don't worry. For some reason it's not working, so wait, I will just open a web app here. Visor for yes. Okay, it's not working. I will just use the emulator. Okay, I will just select Pixel 3i. It will take some time. So let's just move with the code. So like if you click on the roll button, it will pop up a toast with the message like dice roll. So let's check it's working. Yeah, so we have opened the emulator here. Take some time. So like it will pop a toast. So and after that we will just create the logic for the dice. for some reason the emulator is not working, so you can try the code, it will work definitely with no problems. So this is how you create. Okay, so add the dice roll logic. So like in the Kotlin playground, we created a class of dice, and it contain it took a side as a parameter. So we will do the same like that. So you can see like we have created a class of dice which contain a parameter of num sides, like the number of sides, and it contains a function which will return the number, like the number of sides. So what you have to do here, you will in the set-on listener, you will just call the class here, and the class you will create a object of the class, and just call the function. Okay, so like they have done it here. So if you just check the code, so what they have done, like they have created a function named roll dice. So wait. Okay, so like what you have to do here, like we pass an ID to the button, we can also pass the ID to the text view. So what we will do, like we will first create an object of the class dice, and we will make it roll and just store the data we have got from the function in another variable. And like in the text view, we will just pass the text. Okay, so like if you click on the roll button, it will call the function roll, and it will just have the side pitch on the text view. Okay, so this is all in the dice roller app. Okay, so this is all done. So like this is all, and in the next code lab you can just add the images. What happens here, like if you get like one, you will, if you get one, you will so on dice of side one on the app. If you get two, you will show the image of a dice of side two, like, and so on. Okay, so this is like the fourth unit for all, and there's a quiz. So I will show you how to do the quiz. The emulator is not working for some reason. Okay, so here is this quiz. So number one, like what is the following is an example of a class. Okay, so a car class that has a make and model that can be driven. Yeah, it can have like a car class can have two variables of type make, like which it can contain a variable of make and a variable of model, and it can be driven, like driven as in a function. Like if you I will just open the Kotlin playground to show this. Okay. So like I will create another class of car here, class car, and it can have two two things, like one model of type string, another make of type string. So, and it can like drive too. So we will create a function here, fun drive, and the function will do nothing. It will just print. Okay, wait. So while car1 equals, like car1 is an object of type of class car, so car, and it will take two parameters. So number one is a model like SUV, number two is the model like let's give it a random BMX 20. So yeah, like, and it, what we can do, like we can just call the function. So car1 dot drive. It doesn't give a error.
You missed the brackets.
Oh yeah, right, thanks. So just the typo here. If I run it, yeah, it runs. Okay, so what I'm getting here, Kotlin.unit. I don't get it why it's this happening. Let me see it once again. Okay, so so like which of the following is an example of class? A car class that has a make and model, it can be driven, right? A flower class that has a scent. Okay, so yeah, it can have a, like it can't have a function, but it can contain some variables. Number three is a puppy class that is breed, weight, age, and that can bark. Yeah, it can take three parameters and it can have function in bark. A shopping cart class that has a cart size and that can hold items. Yeah, it can. A song class that is lyrics. Yeah, it can contain a string of type string lyrics. Which of the following is the difference between a class and instance? Okay, so you can think of a class as a blueprint and an instance as an actual thing, right? Yeah, this is one is true. Second, a class is like an architectural plan for a bridge, and the golden gate bridge in the instance of this plan. Yeah, this is also true. A class is for defining category of things, while instances are for defining their properties. Nope, this is wrong. You can create multiple instances from classes, but you can't create classes from instances. Yeah, this is right. So, okay, information about properties shared by all things belonging to the class, such as number of sides, number of lake, and that is a color. So, like this one will be a class, and it will be instance. Okay, so true or false? Like every main activity in class must have a main function. Yeah, it does. Wait, let me show you.
So first one is class and second one is instances.
The first one is an instance, second one is a class. Wait a minute. Wait, what's happening? Okay, I just close it because it's not working. Okay, so yeah, it can. Yeah, main activity content file has a main function. Yeah, it has a main function and the onCreate function. Like the onCreate function happens when the activity is just created. Okay, so which of the following is not a way for creating a commit in Kotlin? So which of these is not? Okay, so which of this is not a way? So this one is wrong. Used to like if you write a commit like this, you have to end it with that. Okay, so the rest is fine. Add at the beginning and is considered a comment. Yeah, this one will do. This one is right. This one is also right. Which of the following statement about the conditional statement is true? A conditional statement is a way for you to set up a condition and ensure that the code following it is only executed if that condition is met. Yeah, this is true. A conditional statement does not require any keywords. It requires like if and else, if else, else if, A conditional statement should only be used with integers input. No, it can take many things. Like a string, a boolean. A conditional statement that can be used within function to return output based on condition defined in that function. Yeah, like you can create a function and you can have if else statement there. These two are right. What is a good reason for you to add comment to your code? To explain yourself further why this code is written in a certain way, right? Structure code like chapter heading in books. This is right. To point out some part of the code that is very important, right? To explain to other developers how to use your code for their own programs. Yeah. So this everything is right here. Which of the following are Kotlin data types? Okay, so int range is one, int is one, and boolean is also one. Num is not a data type. Which of the following are valid keyword using conditional statements in Kotlin? If else, when is also used, and repeat finish. Okay, so let's submit the answers.
I have a doubt with question number 5, the third option.
Okay. Question number 5. Use // to turn the rest of function into a comment.
Yeah, does this happen actually? I don't think so.
Let's try this. Let's try everything here.
It doesn't happen like that.
Wait. Add / at the beginning of or inside of a line, anything that after slash is considered a comment. Yeah, this one works fine. Okay, let's start this one. Like this is also a comment. So this one works fine too. And this works. And the third one is turn the rest of function into a comment. Yeah, this won't work. The function won't execute at all and it will throw some errors. Yeah, this one is wrong too. Okay, so sorry, this is an Android thing. So it doesn't contain a main function. It creates an onCreate function. Like you can see, like in the main activity.kt file, it has only one function, which is onCreate. It has no main function. So this one was wrong too. This one is fine. So I will just like try again and make everything right. So this all are true. This one is true.
You missed some options from the first question, I guess.
Yeah. Thanks there. False. So this is not a way for creating comment in Kotlin. This and this. Which of the following statement about function condition is true? This and this, I guess. This should only be used for integer output. No.
So you use third question?
Yeah, I will come there. What is a good reason for you to add comment on the code? All of the above. Kotlin data types, int range, int, boolean. The following are valid keyword used in conditional statement in Kotlin. If, else, when, if, then stop. Yeah, this should do. Okay, so the third question. Information about properties shared by all things belonging to the class. Yeah, this one will be instance and this one will be a class. Yeah, everything is fine. Let's see.
So first one is class and second is instance.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I was missing. Yeah, but I got 7 out of 9 correct. So yeah, the quiz is done, and like I have already done this, so you will get a dice roller badge here. Like I will show you. So you will get this badge if you complete this whole unit pathway. So yeah, this is all for the unit 4. I think this is all. Like anybody have any doubts? I will stop the presentation.